We'll start off with the peace mantra from the Atharva Veda. It's all three Vedas in Atharva Veda. It's Mundaka, Manduka and Shatprashna Upanishad. Starts off with peace mantra. Each Upanishad has a peace mantra. It's a peace mantra. It sets the tone for the Upanishad. This Upanishad mantra, meaning of this mantra is very appropriate for our sadhana. It's may we be blessed to hear the auspicious sound all the time. It's not talking about only the external sound. I can play a nice music and all the time I hear the auspicious sound. It's saying not only the outer sound, may I be able to hear the antarnada, inner sound. As I do practice antarnada, I should be able to hear that one. And maybe I be blessed with good eyesight. May I be able to see the good things all the time. It's not only the external one. I can go to Himalayas and enjoy the beauty of the mountain. But it's not only talking about the outer objects. It is talking about may I have an inner vision. May I have an inner vision, insight. And may I be blessed with, so for that purpose, may I be blessed with healthy limbs, healthy body. May I live for long. May all my actions be pleasing to the divine beings, so that may they bless me with for a long life. So may I continue to do the good actions, and so that noble people, divine people, may they bless me with a long life. May the peace be in me. May the peace be around me. May the peace be everywhere. Repeat after me. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshabhir Yajatraha Sthirayangaihi Stuštuvang Svastanubihi Vishema Devahitam Yadayuhu Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Life's eternal companion is death. The closest friend of the life is death. Always it follows the life. And that is my experience. Last 2 weeks, Arvind was taking the class here, and I was away. My father, about 1 month back, on the 8th of last month, he passed away. And I want to narrate that one. It's a death. Generally, we don't talk about death. When we talk about death, they say, why do you talk about that one? It's not an auspicious thing. Don't talk about that one. Many people, they turn off from the word death. And but life's ever companion is death. Not to fight against the death. Make friendship with your death. Cajole with the death. It's a talk to the death. That is the message I picked up. It's with the passing of my father. In January, when I went to India, that my father told me that I won't see him again. That is as I was leaving. That is the word he said. The last month on the 8th morning, early morning, it's maybe Indian time around 3 o'clock in the morning, my brother called me up saying that the doctors can't feel the pulse. It's if you want, you can start immediately. And still he said he will keep the phone next to my father's ears, and if you want to say anything, you can say. And before I could speak, he inquired about my well-being. And he said, I am preparing myself to depart. That is the last word he said, and no more talking after that. That is the last word before he departed. And it's back in India in January that I was discussing with him how great people leave the body and how one should leave the body. I was talking to him. As a student, he listened. But when he left the body, as a guru, he left the body, showed me that how to depart the body. As a guru, that set a milestone for me, that benchmark for me how to depart. When he said that one, there was no confusion, no disturbance in his work. It's talking. It's very calm, very serene, and goal is fixed. And he departed that way. That he was not agitated, he was not disturbed. Slowly he departed. And before that one, he asked for Ganga water, and he had asked for, he chanted Vishnu Sahasranama also. And not only that one, that when I went to, next day, when I was there to collect the body also, along with my brother, we went, and doctors and the nurses, they said he was an unusual patient. Generally, when we go to the hospital, we inquire about his well-being. How are you? What's wrong? But instead, before doctors could ask, he used to ask them, are you okay? He was inquiring about the well-being of the doctors, nurse, and other staff. And I picked up the body, and we carried the body in the van. And I was wondering that where he could have left the body. There are various apertures in the body, that Navadvara Pure Dehi, that where he could have left the body. And I checked, opened his eyes, that no, he hasn't left the body through the eyes. And coming to the eyes, that it's now in Chandogya Upanishad, it talks about sun resides in the eyes. It talks about in the black part, the brownish part. It is related to sun. The sun is there, it's linked. There is a sun in the eyes. We are able to see because sun is here. Not only there, sun has to be here. Chandogya Upanishad says. And when I opened that one, there is no brown part, no black part. Sun has disappeared. So there is no, it's a Chandogya Upanishad that rishis have discovered this one, that there is no sun here. That I concluded that he hasn't left through the eyes. And I checked his ears, there is no bleeding. And this cotton was there, cotton. I opened the left nostril, cotton. No, that he hasn't left through that one. And I opened the right nostril cotton, that there's a slight bleeding was there. That I concluded, yeah, he has gone through the right nostril. It is called as Pingala Nadi. It's a sun, path of sun. In the Yoga Shastra it says path of light. It's a path of light. He has left through body through the path of light. This is the right nostril. He has departed through that one. On that day, 8th of February, it's Amavasya, Monday, and Shravana Nakshatra. And such a day comes once in many decades. It's not frequently, it doesn't come. Very auspicious day. And astrologers after that astrologer came to our place, and he said, very auspicious day. There is the one who departs on this day, there is no dosha. Otherwise, when you are doing a cremation, if it is not the right day, you had to do a prashchitya. You had to do that one before cremation. But no prashchitya was required. He said, it's a very auspicious day, he departed. So that we concluded whatever rituals at home, we had to do that one. And we took the body to the cremation, and myself and my brother, we lit the fire. My brother, being elder, that he was first he did, and I also did, but I was not agitated. I was not disturbed. It's when I was lighting the fire, this automatically we have been learning the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. I was telling the class that when person departs, usually they chant, they do the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It's automatically when I was lighting, Nainam Chindanti Shastrani, Nainam Dahati Pavaka, Nachainam Kledayantyapo, Nashoshayati Maruta. Fire cannot burn, weapon cannot cleave it, water cannot dry it, wet it, and air cannot dry it. It was spontaneously coming. It's like cloth, one changes the cloth, one changes it's a body also. Navani grihnani naropara, and vihaya jirnani tathoparani. It's a nainam chinda, it's Bhagavad Gita shloka that ascharyavat pashyati kaschidenam ascharyavat tathaiva chanyaha. What a wonder, what a wonder. It's all this, when I was put the fire onto the body, nobody will accuse me of burning the father, because the one thing has departed. When that is not there, it's a body, nobody says he burnt his father. That has gone. That is eternal. That's the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter. It was giving me so much of strength, inner strength. It's Bhagavad Gita. That's what I was telling in the class. Learn that one. It's so much of it's inspiration you get. And Bhagavad Gita, it talks about in the 6th chapter also, Dukkhena Guruna api vichalyate. It's what others may think as a calamity, but one who practices yoga, for a yogi, heaviest of the sorrows also, that yogi is not disturbed. I was checking myself whether I am agitated, whether I am disturbed. I was not disturbed. That even in the lighting the fire, it's as an worship. I was doing that one, as chanting the Bhagavad Gita. And how my father could able to do that one? That is it a mere coincidence, or there was a effort behind that one? My father, back in January, that I took him to his senior colleague. He's in 90 years. He's 90-year-old, and he's a great sadhak himself. And that gentleman, he told me that when he saw me, Rajendra, that all these years I was not thinking of death. Somehow that thought of death is coming to me now frequently. I'm very scared. Tell me what I have to do. That I did so many sadhanas, that these various sadhanas all through my life did, but nothing is helping me. What I have to do now? And he was, at that time my father was next to him. He said, why are you scared of death? Death is your closest friend. I welcome the death with both hands, not to be scared of the death. My father was telling him. It was not just a emotional talking, but he showed that one when he departed. Death is very closest. He was not scared, he was not agitated. He treated death as his friend. And not only that one, that he's lived a life of a karma yogi. Karma yogi, in karma yoga it says, all through his life, did lot to the communities, various communities. In the hot sun, if bus is not there, he will walk for 3-4 kilometers, and he served to the maximum limit, but never boasted his achievement. It's unassuming personality. Never boasted his achievement, but no attachment also. Success or failure, he was not agitated. It's a karma yoga, what Sri Krishna says. He practiced karma yoga, and towards the end also, when he was leaving the body, no attachment to the family, no attachment to the children, no attachment to the property, no attachment to the bank balance. It's only attached to the highest. That is the way he departed the body. It's a death. Death is a reminder for a yoga sadhak. Death is a great teacher. Without death, that we become uncontrollable. That's a death is an eye-opener. It's a yoga sadhak. Going to the cremation, and the next day that they asked me to pick up the bones by hand. That my brother was a bit agitated how to pick up the bones, but I had no feeling that I picked up the bones, whatever remaining, it's picked up, and we disposed it off in the Sangam, Kaveri Sangam. It's practicing yoga. That is the real yoga. Whatever we are practicing here, it's preparation for the final yoga. How you depart depends on, it says how you lived your life. Doctors in the hospital says, look at his face, so calm. Many people that when they depart, facial muscles gets disjointed, twisted, but very calm, though he was in the last minute. My brother was saying that about 2-3 hours before, he was in a severe pain. In Bhagavatam also says when he one departs the body, it's like hundreds of scorpions biting. That much of pain is there. He was in a lot of discomfort. And the previous day, my mother said his feet was very cold. I told him, my father, how to depart the body. That he did that one. It's a slowly withdraw the prana from one limbs. Slowly, feet was very cold. My mother put socks onto him. Slowly he withdrew the prana from one limbs to another. Up, up, up. That is the way yogi departs the body. And coming to this another dimension, what is the difference between the sleep and the death? It's a similar. What is the sleep? In the sleep, what happens? Our senses gets tired of the objects. We want a break. So senses shuts off. That is sleep. In the death, what happens? In the death, the soul gets tired of the objects. It's tired of the senses. In the death, in the senses. Now in the sleep, when the senses, my eyes are tired. Hearing is tired. I am tired through the hearing. I am tired through talking. I want to rest. That is the sleep. In the death, I am tired of the senses. Enough of seeing, enough of hearing, enough of talking, enough of walking, enough of it's a handling, hand movement. That is the death. When I get, tired of the senses. That is the death. But what is meditation? Meditation is the third component. It's a death. I am tired of the senses. And in the sleep, tired of the objects. In the meditation is another dimension. Meditation, I am tired of the objects. I see the limited utility of the object. It's objects gives a limited happiness, but there is a more bigger happiness within. It's meditation is a process. It's a business. Meditation also is a business. It's a lesser, detached from the lesser and attached to the higher. Higher happiness within, lesser happiness outward. It gets detached to the outer. It has a limited utility. In the meditation, meditator realizes the limitations of the objects, and there is a lasting happiness within. Turns one's attention within. It's a meditation. It's not a death process. It is not a sleeping process. In that process, it sees the limitations of the objects. It can give the limited happiness, but there is a lasting happiness within. It starts seeking that one in the meditation. And there is in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna says, there is a lasting peace, eternal peace is there. It's a place of the Supreme Lord. Turn your attention within for your eternal happiness. That is, it's a Tasmat Yogi Bhava Arjuna. Therefore, Arjuna, all the seekers, turn your attention within, become an yogi. That is the path. That is when you start attaching to that one, your departure will become easier. That the way in which my father has departed, we read it in the books. We read it somewhere. It happened, but it's a direct experience. When it happened, it's in front of my eyes. It is a benchmark for me. He has set me a target, how I have to depart. It's a target. As a guru, he has set a target, and I have to work towards that one. And if there is a calamity in your home, that when everyone's home there will be a calamity, when it happens, that one, may this one be an inspiration for you, that may people go into depression, go into frustration. It's a death. It's your closest friend. Treat that one as a closest friend and depart. And if somebody departs at your home also, don't get agitated. Reflect on the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It gives you immense strength it's a time of turmoil. And also that when they carry the body, they say that in India, they say, all you have to say, don't say any other mantra, don't say any other thing. All you have to say is Narayana, Narayana. That is the mantra they say. Don't say any other thing. No other mantras are allowed. Narayana means when the hardest, when the most difficult time comes, only chant his name. It's a high Lord's name. That is the most difficult time. Only he can protect you. When he can protect us when the most difficult time, won't he protect us when we are comfortable? Think of him. That is the path. It's a yoga. It's a real yoga. Takes us to the next level of our journey. Lie down on your back. Left hand on your stomach, right hand on your chest.